Hi, my name is Kareem Hussein, CSC. I am a director of photography. I've done, movies like Possessor, Antiviral, Infinity Pool from Brandon Cronenberg. So I am the person who is in charge of supervising the color for the new Dolby Vision 4K UHD Blu-ray coming out from Severin Films for Dario Argento's Opera. Opera has been a huge obsession all my life. It's been an incredible inspiration for me. I'm a director of photography, and I am that because of opera. That is one of the movies that really, really, really helped me upon my journey of learning cinema language and what you can do with a camera and all the creativity and pure invention you can bring to the art of cinematography. So it's really like a full circle thing to be able to supervise this transfer for me personally as just as a horror fan, but also as a filmmaking professional. I've used the types of cameras that they used on opera, so I know their mechanics, I know their functioning, I know how the framing worked on them, I know how the gates worked, and also I'm very well aware of photochemical printing and how photochemical printing worked back in the day with color timing and everything, of which opera was, of course, photochemically graded. It wasn't graded electronically at all when it came out. So the idea of this kind of transfer is to do preservation, not reinvention, and to follow as close as possible the instructions of the original filmmakers. And we looked at every single possible reference of it, all the oldest transfers that were done when Argento would supervise them and everything. So we matched the color like the best that we could to what it should be. Super 35 was the format it was shot in. It was a format that was begun in the 80s to sort of extract a cinemascope image from a negative while using the full side-to-side of the frame. Normally the way a 35mm frame works is you have a 137 for 35 square frame, you have perforations on the side, you have the soundtrack area to the left, and then you have perforations on the other side. Super 35 would expose image over where the soundtrack would be, and then you would extract a 235 frame from frequently the center of the negative. The way opera was done for the framing was a very unusual way to do it. For this kind of technical detail, we were told, it's best to speak to somebody like the DP of the movie. And of course, Ronnie Taylor is unfortunately no longer with us. So we went to the closest person that we could, who is Antonio Scaramuzza, the camera operator who is involved with absolutely all the processes and everything. And the thing with opera is they were requested by Rai, the Italian television broadcaster, and also Orion wanted to print 185 photochemical prints of opera in addition to Argento's preferred 235 scope version of opera. What they did for the framing was they framed for 185, so not using the left-hand soundtrack area frame, and to extract the anamorphic version, you just remove the top and bottom of the 185 frame. A lot of the more recent scans, and it absolutely makes sense that they did this, but a lot of the more recent scans went and extracted from the full left to right of the Super 35 frame and just extracted their 235 image from there. Now, that meant the shots are like a lot wider, but you're seeing a lot of stuff you're not supposed to see. Also, another thing is some shots, specifically some Steadicam shots, were shot using regular 35mm lenses. So the way it worked is Super 35 would expose a larger area of the negative than certain lenses, the rear elements of certain lenses could cover. So particularly in certain Steadicam shots, like when the killer point of view goes in to see the ravens, you have you see a regular 35 lens was used, and there's this huge vignette on the left-hand side of frame where the soundtrack area should be. This stuff, the left-hand side of the soundtrack, was never ever meant to be seen. And even at the top over here, you see the edge of the lens making it through. All this technical stuff that was there, you could see very clearly also in the centering of a scene with Betty's needles under the eyes. When she has the needles under the eyes, her POV, you can very clearly see that is supposed to be a centered shot. But if you look at the full negative, there's all this space to the left that makes no sense and is not supposed to be there. So following Scaramuzza's instructions, we went and we did the framing in what we hope will be a definitive framing.
Fantastic!
If you're watching this, you've probably seen the movie, and you probably already own various versions of it, so hopefully this could be the definitive one, we hope, in your collection. And thank you for supporting physical media. We're all in this together on that, so let's all keep making our dreams come true and keep the medium alive. Thank you very much.